Welcome back to An Acquired Taste. I'm going to talk today about what it looks like when your startup starts to enter puberty. It's probably the best way to put it. At some point in your company's evolution, you move from kind of the cute toddler stage, the cute, kindergarten stage where everything is fun and it's new and it's exciting and everybody who comes on board is, all ready to go and fired up and fresh and interesting and interested in everything that's going on. And then some time happens and maybe some product launches happen and maybe they're not perfect and maybe you add a few customers and then you lose a few customers and then you add some investors and some other investors don't reinvest. And basically you get to this point where it's like, well, your company's a little awkward now, right? It's a little bit more mature, more is expected of it. You're no longer in that toddler, kindergarten stage. You've now grown up. And you've grown up into this like gangly, awkward, don't know really what to do with my hands stage that looks a lot like puberty for those parents out there, or, well, for that matter, your own prepubescent journey. And so things change. You can't get away with kind of acting the same as you always have in a leadership perspective or as a company and as a culture of a company. You can't get away with fast and ugly anymore, or certainly not as much as you used to be. And your investors expect more discipline. They expect results. Employees want direction. They want to see a clear path forward. They want to understand the company's strategy. Your P&L, it becomes like a daily measuring stick. You're going to spend a ton of time in accounting. And that's probably not something you thought about when you started this company or you started your startup. That's not why we do this, but it is your reality at some point. And you're going to have to start managing your spend religiously at some points, especially right now in the current fundraising environment. You better be super capitally efficient. And that part of being capitally efficient is managing every dollar that you spend. You're going to spend more time thinking about the right people in the right seats. You're going to have to review that regularly. Those who got you here won't necessarily get you to the next thing or get you to where you now want to go. A lot of times for startups, that's a hard transition to make. Could be really close friends that you've built these relationships with in those early days of that startup. That's some of the time it feels like they transcend employees and they maybe even transcend friends and they feel a lot more like family. And now you're faced with the harsh reality that the seat they're currently in may now require a broader skill set, a deeper skill set than what they bring to the table. How are you going to manage that? How are you going to address that? Your people should be your greatest asset, right? People and product is the foundation of your company. So you're going to have to be really religious about that, for lack of a better term. Pushing your business development efforts like you've never pushed them before will start to feel like a very real portion of your time in leadership. Whether you're a founder or you're in senior leadership or you're just in a, business development function, those efforts are really going to have to start getting very sophisticated. They're going to have to produce results. For lack of, better terminology, they're going to have to be more efficient. Your close rates now matter. Your retention rates now matter. And your retention is tied to how you close that business or how you attracted that business, what was promised to them, what was contractually obligated, what was inferred, all of those things that happen in that sales process. You're going to have to really get results and you're going to really have to have a sophisticated function. The passion projects around marketing, hunches around, well, if we did this thing, I think this might happen. You don't really get to do those very much, or it certainly needs to be limited. You have to be in the core of your business, in the middle of your ideal customer profiles, really trying to drive sales at this stage of the company. And again, that feels awkward. That's not fun. That, is like going through puberty. Like, I don't really understand what's happening around me. I'm not super comfortable. Definitely feel awkward. Feel a little gangly. But that's something that you have to start to navigate. Planning for your business beyond what's immediately in front of you becomes a necessity as well at this stage. You can't just look at, what do we have this week? What do we have this month? What do we have this quarter? You have to start planning strategically for at least 6 months out, and more realistically, 12 months out. That isn't to say that you over-engineer that planning process. It doesn't mean you set a bunch of goals you have no chance of hitting. There's limited to no value in that. But you have to start looking beyond the next month and really beyond the next quarter. And those strategic plans have to start finding their way into the functions of your business and how it operates. And every department and every job function has to be aligned around that strategy. If you are a founder in this kind of puberty kind of stage of your business, you have to start doing less and managing more, because it becomes a scale issue. If you are the roadblock because all the major decisions have to come through you as a founder or co-founder, if people aren't empowered or don't have agency because maybe they don't understand a longer term strategy or haven't been set up and as a job function, their job hasn't been engineered for them to do this, you become the roadblock. So you become the limiting factor for the rest of the business because it has to go through you. So do less, manage more, become a company executive, as uncomfortable as that may sound. And then find the 2 to 5 KPIs, the key performance indicators, or you can do them as rocks. You can do them as, I don't know, pick your, business guru terminology of choice here. I don't really care. But those metrics that are core to your business, only 2 to 5 of them, and manage those on a weekly basis. You can always look at something that's an annual goal, and you can back down from that to monthly and to weekly. Make sure that your KPIs aren't 100% a lag indicator or aren't 100% lag indicators, meaning that you don't need the entire time to have passed before you can measure your progress towards those goals and get to the point where you're doing that weekly. This is the transformative stage of your company or for your organization. You're not the fresh, new, excited, full of energy startup that you once were. You're something more than that. And that's good. It's hard to even get to this stage. So embrace that awkwardness. Embrace being uncomfortable. Embrace that transformation, because not everybody gets an opportunity to even do that or attempt that transformation, as uncomfortable as it may seem in the present. So I hope that was helpful. Always love to hear from you guys in the comment section. See you next time.